it does, but very little about how it does it. Scientific studies have shown that the physical effects of LSD include an increase in blood pressure, heart rate, and blood sugar. These physiological changes are often accompanied by nausea, chills, flushes, irregular breathing, trembling, and sweating. Recent research on animals has shown that LSD may cause cell damage and lead to serious abnormalities and malformations in the offspring. In one study, 4 or 5 pregnant animals were given a single injection of LSD. The results showed early abortion, stillborn, and underdeveloped offspring. In the culture of human blood cells, it was found that LSD damaged the chromosomes in the white cells. In addition to these physical symptoms, there is clear evidence of serious psychological and emotional disturbances resulting from even a single use of LSD. The drug use of the hallucinogens at parties is becoming a familiar part of the scene. An atmosphere is created, and mass use of the drug becomes the central factor in the lives of many young men and women. The problem is that while the drug is not physically addicting, there is considerable evidence that it can cause psychological dependence. So let's count the cost and take a good look at the results.
I remember once it wasn't using LSD, it was peyote, which is reasonably similar. And I was in bed with a young lady, and I turned and I looked at her face, and her face distorted into sort of a flesh-dripping monster face. Features became drawn, and jowls hung, and she grew fangs. And I quickly turned my head away, and I told myself this couldn't be so. And about an hour, I wouldn't look at her face again. It was really frightening.
I could see all around me, no matter which way I was facing. It was just real frightening. I went to this survival land, and I was afraid everyone was going to go there, and that things were never going to be the same, and that everyone was going to become real vicious and hate, just climb on top of each other to get what they wanted. Well, I never thought the world was going to be any different than that.
Everything vibrates. I look at chairs, and I can see the waves. It's pulsating, vibrating. And this, everything turns into vibrations. It's like everything is falling apart. My eyes are the electronic microscope, and I can see all the atoms and everything. Everything pulsates.
Took the acid around 2 in the morning and started reading this book. And there are sections in it that give instructions to a person who is dead. And they tell them to do certain things and hang on to certain things and let go of other certain things, allowing the experience to happen to you naturally. And because of that, I got very confused as to whether I was alive or whether I was dead. It's really very, very far out to just not know whether I was alive or dead. So if I'm dead, what is happening? What's been happening with my life if I've been dead all this time? What is the truth behind all this?
All the results are not yet in. The evidence is inconclusive. The only thing we know for sure is that we just don't know enough. In carefully controlled experiments, interesting results have been reported on the therapeutic use of LSD with the mentally ill, the drug addict, the terminal cancer patient. And in the VA hospital in Topeka, Kansas, a special research program for alcoholics.
This program was started in January of this year, where we began treating 5 patients for 26 days. We bring them in on one Monday and they spend 1 week getting acquainted, having all the tests and examinations done, to keep them busy for the whole week. The second Monday, we give them a together. This is to help the group pull together and in their group experience during this 26 days to also get some good from this. The third Monday, we give them a larger dose individually. And each one of them are cared for by one of these teams that have been associated with them, and we give them their complete support. And this is where we aim for the so-called psychedelic experience. It seems to work pretty well. Of course, it takes time to work through. Also, in this program, we bring these men back every 4 months for 3 days. And this follow-up is quite important.
Some of the things that are outstanding. I know I kept fighting the religious music. Didn't know why then, but Dr. Karam kept urging me to find out why I was fighting this. And I remember I was just literally scared to death.
The thing that affected me as far as the first patient is concerned, with the property also seemed to be more realistic than he has shown before. Sympathy than I did.
Good quality, of course, virtue, love, trust. I've seen the other ones, hate, fear, distrust. I've seen them all in my head. It's like I was strangling myself, like I had to get rid of all the bad qualities, and I was strangling myself fighting against them.
And especially the looking 2000 in his head, in his constant. These things were deeply, and the thing that makes the difference here is the emotion that goes along with them.
It reeked up. It's like somebody grabbed me and brought me up. And interpret this as, for the first time in my life, wanted love. I think this is the thing that's probably my biggest problem. Is that I thought everybody was forcing it on me and I wasn't going to love. But it's not a good, I think, some
here's a change.
The research projects in progress under the auspices of the Food and Drug Administration and the National Institute of Mental Health. All part of our continuing search to discover more about the hallucinogens. The questions remain. The mind-bending drugs seem to offer so much. What do they really deliver?
as to what it has to offer. That's a difficult